Today is all about area of triangles, and you should recall the formula for area of triangles. Some people write it as A equals 1/2 the base times the height. And so that formula, you would multiply the base and the height, and you take 1/2 of that. But other people also like to write it as area equals base times height divided by 2. Those are the exact same formula. They just kind of change the order or change the way you think about it. So if you like this way better or this way better, it does not matter to me. You get to pick which formula you'll be using, but that is to find the area of the triangle. And we're just gonna do a few examples here today to make sure we all really know what's going on. So we're gonna start with a gridded example, because very often a triangle is given to us on a grid and we've gotta kind of count that out. So if I'm using the grid here, okay, and I have this triangle here, I've got to talk about the base and the height. Now, we can use the grid to count out the base and the height. That's the point of having the grid there. There aren't going to be other numbers, so we've got to actually figure out how long that base is. And the base goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 units long. We've got to do the same thing for the height. Now in this case, it would give us this, but in this case, we're looking at a right triangle. It's already standing at a perpendicular height. So we're allowed to take this height right here and count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 units high. Which means when I write my area equals 1/2 base height, I'm really solving area equals 1/2, the base was 10, and the height was 8. So you should be plugging that in. From there, you can consider, do I want to take 1/2 of 10 first, or do I want to multiply the 8 and the 10 first? Since it's all multiplication and we know our commutative property, we can kind of alternate those around. So if I say, okay, well, what is 8 times 10? That's 80. So I'll write 8 times 10 is 80, and then we can deal with that 1/2 afterwards. And so half of 80 is 40. And so we would say the area is 40 units squared. Units squared. Okay. Now, it's not always the case that it's given to us like that. We could very well have a triangle that's given to us like this. And so the issue there is that we want to make sure that instead of taking this as the height, because that's not the height, that's a slant, we've got to find a perpendicular height. Okay? So we're going to go ahead and draw out a perpendicular height. And we're going to say, okay, from that spot, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units tall. And its base is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 units. So when we solve area equals 1/2 base times height, we're going to rewrite that as 1/2 of 9 times 5. Okay? Decimal or fraction alert, guys. 9 and 5 are both odd, so it's not going to be easy to take half of them. Let's go ahead and multiply the 9 and the 5 first. 9 times 5 is 45. So we're going to be finding 1/2 of 45. In which case you can go ahead and do 45 divided by 2. It's going to be 22.5 units squared. Okay, so the first example that I'm actually going to do from your given homework assignment here is, let's pull it up now. There we go. The triangle, it's going to be question number, let's go ahead and do question 5 because I know we struggle with those fractions. Let's do question 5. So on question 5, we've got a triangle whose, if I write area equals 1/2 base height, we know that the base of number 5 is 19 1/4 yards. Yikes, 19 1/4. And the height is 9 1/2. Okay, holy moly. We've got some fractions there. You have 2 options. If you rather work with decimals, you can change all of those to decimals. If not, you know that you can't multiply mixed numbers. You're gonna have to change them to improper fractions. So 19 1/4 changed to an improper fraction. I'm just going ahead. I'm gonna multiply the 19 by the 4, which is 76 plus 1 is 77/4. We've still got the 1/2, and we've got the 9 1/2, which will change to 19/2. All I did was change each of those mixed numbers to improper fractions so I can go ahead and do the multiplication. It's not going to be pretty, I'm going to be really honest, but we are going to multiply numerator by numerator by numerator and denominator by denominator by denominator. So we have to do 1 times 77 is 77, but we still have to do the 77 times the 19. Ugh, nasty. All right, 7 times 9 is 63. 7 times 9 is 63 plus 6 is 69. Placeholder 0. 1 times 7 is 7 and 1 times 7 is 7. Add them all up. 3, 16, 14. 1,463 over 2 times 4 is 8, times 2 again is 16. And then to be honest, like that's not super pretty. I'd probably go back and try to change it and make sure that kind of like give it back to a mixed number so that makes sense with the answer. No one wants to go back and be like, the answer is 1,463 over 16. Like, what does that even mean? We have to go ahead and kind of simplify that back out. And you know that I usually don't care if you keep things improper, but in this case, it's just really hard to understand the concept of the answer if you don't put it back into normal numbers. So we're gonna go 16 doesn't go into 14, but it should go into 146. In fact, just for the ease of this problem, let's go ahead and use our calculator. We shouldn't usually do that, but I don't want to take a long video of explaining how to do division that you know how to do. So we know that it's going to go in 91 times equally. With 7 left over. So it's going to be 91 and 7 over 16. That is a terrible problem. I'm going to be really honest. Like, that's an annoying problem for you all. But that is how you do it. So just remember, if you have fractions, you have to do the dirty work. You have to do that ugly work. And I know that you can do it. It's extra steps. So stick through it. You got it. And I will see you all in the next video.